Not the most exciting content today. This carries Nissan Leaf, and yes, I do have 4 of them. This one has window washer fluid pump. It's bad, and she's been complaining about it for going on a year now. So I finally got one ordered. Got 4 of them ordered actually, because for some reason it shows 3 different options for the same vehicle. Not exactly sure why. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna tear into that. Pretty easy job. Honestly, this should take a normal person about 15 minutes, but it'll probably take me 45 minutes. I do want to answer a couple questions. Yes, that is a Fiat. It's a 73 Fiat. Some people call it a Spider. It's a 124 Sport is what it's actually it's called. It's a cool little car. Stick shift. I actually bought it for Lizzie, thinking that she would be a cool kid and actually drive a stick shift. She's not a cool kid. She wants to drive a Nissan Leaf, so that's fine. I mean, she's gonna drive around a blue ugly Nissan Leaf throughout high school, so that's fine. Maybe Lily will learn how to drive it, or I'll probably just end up sending it down the road. Anyway, appreciate everyone watching the last video, all 13 of you that watched it. I know it was very long. We're going to work on that. We'll make shorter episodes and just see what people are looking for. Probably just watching me do dumb stuff. But anyway, we're going to tear into this thing. I'm going to rip this wheel off. That's not exciting. But then I'll get you in here to see what this pump looks like on this Nissan. Change that washer fluid pump out. All right, so literally the thing that holds this in, you actually don't have to take the whole fender liner out, but there's these annoying clips that just break off. And I have a lot of extra. I bought a big package of them for import vehicles. There's a couple fasteners that'll hold this on. There's another one over there. So honestly, it's not a big deal. It's just annoying if you break these clips, because if you don't have them, you got to order them, and I just get them off Amazon in bulk. So this is what they look like. Probably hard to see with my stupid black gloves on holding a black piece of plastic, but they are pretty simple. This tool, you got to get one if you don't have one. You can try using a screwdriver, but because it's split like that, they literally just go right in between there, and you just pry it out. And sometimes you have to pry that up and then get it underneath and pry that part. But honestly, these are like $5 on Amazon, well worth it. Well, I lied. That was by far the most clips I've ever seen. All of those just to get the fender liner off, and I still don't have it out. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This guy right here, and it's actually a 3-pack of these. It's kind of cool. They stack together like this, and there's all kinds of assortments of these clips. And I think this whole thing was like $18. Well, if you go to buy just 1 pack of those from your dealer or from parts store or whatever, you're gonna pay $1 at least a piece for those clips, and there's got to be 1,000 of them in there. So I use the heck out of those. Honestly, even in this that I just took apart, there's 2 different sizes in there. So obviously this has been apart, or even Nissan didn't even care, so they just threw whatever in there. Well, that was ridiculous. Actually, after that, there were still 2 more clips that I had to get out. I'm not taking it all the way out. I literally just gonna fold it back around the wheel, and yeah, good enough. Okay, so I now get why they call these things Nissan Leafs, because there are freaking piles of leaves, and I already vacuumed this thing out before I even started. There's piles of leaves in this car. I know obviously it's not really why it's called that, but pretty ironic. I just want to look in here. I've actually never been this far into the front end of a Leaf. I've rebuilt the battery modules before, but I've never been into the actual EV motor part of it. And it's, I mean, it is built just like a normal car. There's, you know, still CV axles. Obviously there's no exhaust, but power steering rack right there. But it's actually looks pretty basic, pretty easy to work on. Not that you ever, there's really no even serviceable items. I mean, it's the only thing you really can service is the battery. But anyway, that's great. This thing's completely full. So of course it's full because it's not working, but It's probably gonna pee all over the place when I take that pump out of there, but you know, whatever. That's par for the course in my shop. It's not exactly like my floor is clean anyway, so let's see how this goes. Well, that's fun. It's just literally going everywhere. That's a great design. Good job, Nissan. Thank goodness for these yellow buckets that I have 30 of them thanks to Dean. Alright, it's finally done washing down the inside of the car, so we'll let that drain. Actually, you know what? The only thing really to do, I unplugged the electrical connector. Okay, everything's just falling apart, that's fine. Okay. That's great. I bought 4 pumps, none of them look like that. So hopefully one of them will at least work. Yeah, I have no idea. That looks nothing like the rest of them. I'm gonna grab those and just compare, see what's the best option. Epic failure, not even close. Like, I don't even know what they were smoking. That looks nothing like this. That's going back, good job, Alan. Okay, number 2, even worse. I don't know, it looks like a toilet part. I mean, I have no idea what is even happening. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is the connector's not even the same, so it wouldn't even have plugged in at all. This is getting worse. It at least has 2 ends, and it's already broken. That's nice. Comes pre-broken off on the end, so that's fine. This does at least have 2 spots to hook up to, but then once again, the connector is completely wrong. So this is the one that said it would not fit, but I bought it because it looked the most similar. And actually, it appears to be the same. But then, of course, well, connector's completely wrong spot, and different connector also. I guess this isn't happening today. Well, I tested it yesterday. I actually found one of the lines was plugged, but that was not the problem. So I filled it back up and I got to drain it again this morning, so that was fun. Good news is another one did show up, and this appears to be correct. So hopefully this will work. I don't remember where we were at. I just had a guy walk in. I guess I talked to him on Marketplace about buying a used tire for a motorcycle, and he wanted it mounted and everything. So there just went like 45 minutes. But anyway, I think we were talking about the pump. So I got the new one, and yeah, I think they're the same. I think we talked about this. I don't remember, but yeah, I'm gonna throw this in there, and we'll see if this is gonna work. Good news though, I did make $100 putting that tire on that guy's bike, so that was cool. Tired of wasting this stuff. I've already dumped out 2 buckets of this junk. I mean, it is just water. Probably blue food coloring or something stupid. Try to keep the chunks to a minimum. Most of the chunks are still in the bottom of the bucket. We recruited Lizzie to help squeeze that so we don't have to walk back and forth around the car. Let's see if it sprays David with water. Next, we'll teach her how to pump gas. Woo! Look at that water.
And it squirted me.
Oh, hang on, pause it. There we go. Do it again. No idea why it went back to selfie mode with a mirrored image. Well, anyway, whatever. So we're gonna test that rear squirter now. We had to watch a video, see how to get the rear washer to work. We know that it has it because I sprayed water out of it by putting air in the hose. So I lost my helper. We'll see if we can get this dumb thing to squirt water finally. Hopefully this microphone is working good. try and fix this back left door on Carrie's Leaf. The window won't roll down at all from any of the controls. So I'm wondering if maybe the switch is either bad or just disconnected, or who knows. We're gonna take it apart. I just might as well show you real quick since we're working on this, and it's a pretty quick video. I'll take this door panel off. It's actually very simple. I've already busted the clips loose on a couple of them, but it's literally, you just grab hold of the bottom and the clips come off. There is one bolt that's behind the door handle, and get some of these really cheapo tools. A lot of times they come with the clip kits that I was showing you. So literally just that little guy. There is a little retainer, you see, that holds it on there. There's no screws though. And then almost always 10 mil on Japanese cars, even American stuff. They're using 10 millimeters on almost everything. Okay, I was in the right spot, but I couldn't use the little plastic tool. It wasn't strong enough. So I went back to the old faithful fryer tool for there and just got it right underneath here. And there it was, actually pretty easy. If you look up a diagram first, it would have been even easier, but who needs that? Who needs YouTube, right? It actually took me longer to figure out how to flip the camera around than it did to take the door panel off. But once that's on, literally just lift up. There is going to be a couple more for the actual release handle, and those are just, here, I'll show you on here. They just clip in right there, and it's very self-explanatory once you see it. It's not even worth showing you on camera because they literally turn and lift. That's all it is. And then there's just 2 cables. That's all it is. These cables are what open the door. The other one is for the lock. So one opens this, the other unlocks the door. That's literally all it is. This little tab right here in the back side. So this was plugged in, and you just push down on that right there and then pull out. That's really all it was. There was one more screw right in there, which was also 10 mil. That was pretty simple, and then the door panel's loose. Okay, so this actually was a much easier fix than I was thinking it was, and it's even easier because I have an obsession and I have 4 of these cars. One of them actually is not operational right now because the onboard charger has died, and I honestly don't need the car. But anyway, it was actually just this rear switch. So I went out back, grabbed that out of the other car, replaced it with the old one in there, so I'll try to use it later with a broken switch, and just grab this one. So let's plug this in, test it, see if this one works. Oh, that's simple. Literally just a switch. You gotta take it back off though to put the door panel back on, but either way, I was able to check it out without costing me any money because I have extra parts cars. So let me throw this door panel back on. One thing that you do have to do a lot of times, these clips, the white ones, I think you can see them. Yeah, all these white clips right here, they're supposed to be attached to the door panel itself, and then when you put the door panel on, they push in the hole. But for some reason, all of these decided to stay in the door, not on the panel, which is not a big deal. And like I keep saying, that kit that I bought has a bunch of these, even if you do break them. They usually don't break. Like that one didn't break, so we're good. But even if they did, I got extras, no big deal. So when you go to put them back in, literally they just snap right in there. It's not rocket science by any means. Pretty simple in there. And you don't have to have every single one of them, but you'll get rattles in the car if you don't have at least majority of them. I'd say probably 6. So this guy You know what? I'm going to try and get you in here so that way you can see how these cables go back on there. All right, so these are the cables I was talking about, and it's nice because you really can't mix them up. The one's a ball end, and the other has this little tab. And if you look, let's see, this one right there is the ball end. I think you can see down in there. Yeah, so the ball end goes in there, and it looks, I mean, it just plugs right in. The other one is right up there, right there, and that pin just drops down in there. And then right here on the back, this guy and that guy is where this part of the cable, the little white part, it clips into there and holds the cables from falling out. Okay, the panel is just sitting there. I already hooked the cables up, but I wanted to show you one thing before I clip it in. I've done this 100 times. Well, I've forgotten to do this 100 times. This cable, this electrical connector, not cable, electrical connector, if you don't pull that up and through this hole in the door panel first, you'll get to take the door panel back off. So I always, well, not always, mostly try to plug this in first before. That way you can just let it dangle there. You still have to put the plug in. You got to hook all your, you know, those push pins that we just took out. You got to plug all those back in. But that way you don't have to do it twice because you forgot to do it the first time. I actually want to show you. I just did this half of the door. It took no more than 5 seconds. It literally is just a solid hit, and you'll feel them actually go into place. That's it. And the door panel is on. But the reason for the screws is so when you go to pull on this hand. Alrighty, well, let's try this again. I guess my audio wasn't working for half of that. So we're all put back together. All the clips are pushed in. Got the last 2 screws in there. And make sure you put them in the right hole. That's probably why they're different colors. I didn't really pay attention to that when I took it out. This little beauty ring, that's the last thing to go on. And literally, that's it. Snaps right in. The front part goes in first, the back end goes in, and then we've already got this plugged in. This goes front part first, back end, that's it. Window goes down, window goes up. These are not autos, so you still have to hold it. That's pretty much it. Literally all we had tools-wise. A little plastic pry bar, the red handle one that we used for the front on the wheel well housing, and then 10mm socket, however you want to do it. Probably could have done it with nut driver, but a ratchet, anything. I just use power tools, makes it a little faster. Okay, last thing, leftover parts. We got this pickle fork little tool, this exhaust vent. No, I'm just kidding. These are Lego pieces left over from Rowan. Good job, buddy. They were in the door panel there. Make sure you put them back because I don't want to be blamed for losing his Legos. And down here, cup holder, which is no longer a cup holder on cars today. They're garbage cans for kids. Go ahead and empty it out. I usually save it, put it back in, but not this time. So one thing I do for people whenever I work on their car, and it's not a big deal, but you know, maybe it means something to somebody. Anytime I open the hood, I check and see if people have window washer fluid in there. You know, not a big deal. Bottle's what, $3 to $6 for a bottle of window washer fluid. But that adds up if you're putting it in everybody's car for free. So obviously this is Crystal Geyser, but it's really just a container. I just save these containers and then fill them up with tap water, hose water, pond water, whatever the heck you want to use. And I just grab these, they're called window washer fluid tablets. And you can get them on Amazon. You can get them at O'Reilly or any place like that, but they're stupid expensive. You get them on Amazon, and I think it was a 500 pack of these things for less than $20. And pretty cool. You can watch a little science experiment. But they start dissolving. On the instructions, it says leave them for half an hour or something like that. But I just have a bunch of these bottles. And so whenever I whenever I go to fill them back up, I just throw them in the corner. The other thing though that I started doing, because these aren't great, and I double it. You're only supposed to put 1 per gallon, but I put 2 because they're so cheap it doesn't matter. They sell, Rainick sells this, other companies sell it, but I think it's just an alcohol based, and this is supposed to treat like 4 gallons, but I just do like 1 squirt in there, and it helps with treating the glass so you don't get. Lastly, I'm sure you've heard it about 14 times as I open and close the doors. That's wonderful noise. It's probably factory Nissan preloaded noise for you. That way you know you're getting into a Leaf. But let's get an oil pen. We'll see if we can get that squeak to go away. Yeah, I don't think I can do this one-handed, but literally all we're trying to do is just get some oil down in here. See if we can get that noise to go away. Actually, where it was coming from was between the lock and the handle. So I just put a little bit of oil in there. Pretty simple. No, Carrie won't have to hear that anymore. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Done enough maintenance on these Leafs for a lifetime now. I think what we're gonna do next, that BMW, that black one, I don't know, I think you saw it in the background, but I need to build a rock guard for the thing on the bottom after the front wheel. There's supposed to be an engine guard that's there, and when I got the bike it was in a million pieces, and apparently that was the only thing that was missing, because I haven't had to really buy anything other than, you know, maintenance parts. But yeah, we're gonna try and build one of those, and we're gonna do some welding on the next episode. I don't know how we'll film that. I have no clue. I don't even know how, if you have to put a filter or a lens or something. Maybe I'll just throw a welding helmet over my phone. We'll see what happens. But we're going to learn on this one. I have no idea how you're supposed to record with sparks flying everywhere. Hopefully I don't set my phone on fire. It would be funny if I did, but I'd rather not have to buy a new phone. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Last thing that I forgot, don't forget all of your Amazon returns. Remember, this was the 5th one that I bought. So all those other ones were a lot more expensive than just the one. That is the part number right there, if anybody is looking for one. Funny enough, this doesn't even say that it fits the Nissan Leaf, but it will fit everything else. I actually just looked up a Nissan Armada, and I think that went all the way to 2019, from 2011 to 2019. But anyway, so this is the guy. It was 12 or 15, I don't remember, but either way, it was still way more convenient of only ordering it one time than ordering 4 different ones. But all right, thanks guys. Okay, that's supposed to be some water, or yep, just had a brain fart.